trying to diagnose when the lines are going to be bringing prep.
Pas de bois, pas d'intimité. Pas de bois, pas de papier journal. Puis pas de ce papier-là non plus.
When it comes to trying to diagnose when the lines are going to be bringing pressure, what kind of distinguishes them, how they do it, as opposed to some other teams you might face?
Yeah, they do a good job, I think, of, sort of holding it and disguising it. There's a lot of looks where it looks like it's just a base coverage, and all of a sudden they're bringing guys from, different directions and stuff. When they do blitz, they have certain coverages that are behind their blitzes, but like I said, they do a good job with bringing different guys and, sort of holding their water and not showing it. So I think that's the difference, really. Across the year, other teams will sort of have some tips and clues and stuff, but I think these guys do a pretty good job of, sort of switching it up and making it hard for the quarterback to recognize it. So it'll be a good challenge.
Why do you feel you and the offense have done well against the blitz this year?
I feel like, we usually go into it having a good plan. And so the minute they do it, and if we're on it, I think it's sort of like a high risk, high reward kind of thing for both sides. If we're ready and have a good plan for it, all it takes is like a 5-yard throw or something, and we can turn it into a big gain. They're a couple guys short. So we've gone into games where, defenses that blitz a lot, we usually have a good plan for it. So, but that's just the receivers and myself, being on top of it. And when they give us those opportunities, we've got to be ready for it. And if we're not ready for it, then we can get exposed. So
this is your first year starter. You led this team to 2 NFC Championship games. You're a finalist for the MVP. What does that tell you about yourself?
Man, I've just been taking it one day at a time, since last year once I stepped into the role. For me, it's never been about all the hype and the glory and all that kind of stuff. It's been about how can I help this team win. And, I have a really good squad around me, and they've helped me get to where I'm at with my game and helped me get better. And so, here we are, second year in a row in the NFC Championship. I'm very thankful for it, but obviously we have a bigger goal in mind, and we have to handle business this Sunday. So that's where my mind is at with that.
What kind of emotional boost does it give the team that Debo is good to go?
Yeah, it's huge for us. Debo's a game changer. He's one of the best in the NFL at what he does. So obviously for him to be able to play, all of us are like, all right, Debo brings some juice and energy, and we got his back. And so obviously seeing him run around at practice and look good, for us, it's like, all right, it's on. So we're excited for him.
What emotions or confidence did you get from rewatching the film of the last drive?
Yeah, like I said before, the season sort of, it's on the line. That was probably our last drive that we were going to have in that game. And so all of us, like, when you're watching the film, you can just tell, like, everyone's on top of their stuff. Everyone's detailed in every move, from the O-line and their pass sets to the receivers running to their landmarks and getting to where they need to be. And then obviously making smart decisions and not forcing anything. So you could just tell there was a lot on the line, and I think we played our best ball in that moment. So it was encouraging watching for all of us, and just got to keep building and carry that into this game.
How did you talked about on Wednesday, maybe not getting to the checkdowns the way you wanted to early in that game, and then in that last drive you did. What caused that kind of realization, or for you to actually execute that?
Yeah, I feel like, there's times in the game where it's like you're aggressive and you can think that there's a window there and make a play, where in that moment it was, okay, obviously every decision is on the line here. So obviously just go through what the coaches have taught all the quarterbacks and be smart. Not that you're going to be timid and conservative, but if the defense isn't, running what we're looking for, then, obviously take the check down. And I feel like during the game it was like, sort of looking for a big play periodically. So definitely was playing with some conviction on that last drive, and I think it obviously went well if I had that same mindset. So some that I looked at in the film and learned from it. So it was good.
Did you learn anything about yourself on that last drive, or self-correcting in the game like that?
I think just obviously in that moment, it's everyone makes it a big deal. Like, okay, this could be it, but for me it was like, man, it's football. It's 11 on 11. I got dudes around me that are really good. They're going to do their job well. I got to do my job, and let's go execute, put a drive together. So keeping it simple in a sense is what I took away from it.
What do the next 48 hours look like for you?
The same as really this whole year, just in terms of going through my process on a Friday night, Saturday morning, come here for a walkthrough Saturday and continue to study the plays and everything. But at the same time, keep it simple. All year I've had a process in how I handle my stuff and how I get ready for a game, and I try not to overcomplicate things. And so, other than that, I'm going to just go into this game just like I have all year. So I'm excited for it.
Superstitious at all? Do you eat the same food every Friday or anything like that?
I have a routine, but I wouldn't say I'm suspicious. So, yeah.
Hearing you talk about like making those decisions in the moment, you could kind of say the same about the play calling and like what that is like. Do you ever talk with Coach about that, the similarities between him calling plays and making those decisions and trying to stay prepared, use his preparation? Do you talk about like that? The similarities between coaching and quarterbacking in that way at all?
Yeah, I think throughout the week he does a really good job with just explaining why he's calling plays, what we're trying to attack, sort of, how we feel about plays. He always asks us, like, how we're feeling about it and if we're confident in running it. So he does a good job with that. And then, honestly, when he asks me, like, what I'm thinking in certain situations and stuff, I tell him. And I tell him exactly what I was thinking in the game and moving forward, how I'm feeling about stuff. So we're on the same page a lot of times about a lot of things. And, for him, like, he does a good job, like I said, with, making sure that we're all comfortable with running what he's calling. All of us, not just the quarterbacks, but players in general. So we all want to play for him. He does a great job with staying on the same level as us and explaining what we're attacking and what we're trying to do. So he's done a good job with that. I think he's one of the best in the league at doing it. And we've seen it for a while. So.
How much do you think your experience in college, playing 4 years, some big games on the road, and being asked to carry an offense, prepared you for coming into this and playing in games and circumstances like this?
Yeah, I think it was good, man, to play 4 years of college ball and, like you said, go and play in different environments and stages and levels of the games being on a higher level. So for me, I took a lot away from those kind of games. I think it helped sort of build me into who I am. Just in terms of, finding out what I do good and what I don't and how it can be better. So I definitely remember a lot of games where I feel like it was a high-stake game and how I performed. And so I can sort of go back to those experiences and remember, like, man, I should have done this better, or I remember I did do that well. So for this game, NFC Championship, I want to keep it simple, not blowing it out of proportion in my mind or anything, but at the same time, sort of have some juice because, like, man, this could be a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. So, got to be excited about that more than anything, too.
Can you feel or do you know how much confidence your teammates have in you?
Yeah. I mean, I feel like all year, they've been the same guys in the locker room. They've believed in me since I've stepped in, since last year. And throughout the year, I feel like I've grown and we've all grown together. So, definitely blessed to have these guys in the locker room with me and they definitely have my back and through the good and the bad. We've been through some stuff this year and it hasn't all been pretty. There's been some good times, there's been some tough times, but through it all, man, these guys have continued to have my back and show love and we go to war together. So very thankful for them.
What do you remember from David Montgomery back in college? And did you give any input to the defense at all about what kind of guy he is?
Yeah, I mean, David was one of the hardest workers I've ever been around. That's the kind of guy that just doesn't go down easy. He's always moving his feet, explosive, great quick cuts. And this week I haven't really been able to talk to my defense about that. I mean, they've seen him, I think, a lot just the last couple of years when he was in Chicago, so they know who he is. But yeah, I have nothing but love and respect for David and what he's done, and it's a tough dude to get to. Like, he's mentally strong, he's tough, he's physical, and it's going to be a good challenge to go up against him again. Thanks, guys.
How much work was it for you to just get yourself physically ready for this game?
Bro, this is like right when I figured out it wasn't the same thing as the Browns game. It was kind of a relief because I know it wasn't a fracture. It was just like a deep bruise or whatever. But I'm talking about countless hours in here, day in and day out, just to get where we at right now.
You seem in pretty good spirits all week long. Is that a reflection of your confidence that you probably feel?
Oh yeah, for sure. Got all the confidence in the world, and I want to give credit to our physical therapists in there, Ben, Little, and Donahue.
Mieux consommer l'énergie, c'est plus facile quand c'est une affaire d'équipe. Comme l'entreprise Prive, qui a fait équipe avec Énergir pour devenir...
You know,
Billions.
get me right where we need to be.
Can you explain what kind of pain you were dealing with and then how it maybe subsided as the week's gone on here?
At the time, it was hurting like really bad. I was kind of scared a little bit. Like, I thought I had fractured it again, and I was just all over the place then. You know, in a big game like that, like, I had like millions of emotions on the sideline trying to kind of hold them together for my team. And, you know, just to see them get the dub and stuff, I mean, that was kind of relief as well. Just to know I have an extra week just to figure out what was going on. And we went and got an MRI and everything, showed up negative, and it was just a deep bruise. And it was kind of painful at the time, but as the week on, you know, like I just said, them doing a good job getting all the pain away, getting all my motion and strength back, and I feel like they did an outstanding job.
You play as physically as you do, but still trying to protect yourself.
I ain't protecting nothing.
What does it say about your team and the way they were able to come back in your absence?
Oh, that was amazing with how the game was going. You know, every game has its ups and downs, and you know, you got all the naysayers about Brock this, Brock that, this, that, and the third, but when Brock this was needed, he went out there and capitalized on the long drive. You know, the receivers going out there and making plays, Kittle from Christian, and you know, it all started with the O-line, and they just went out there and did what they were supposed to do.
What do you respect about the Lions?
Say it again?
Respect about the Lions.
They're winning. They're playing good ball, and you know, they made it this far, so obviously they're a good team, but you know, everything got to run through Levi's.
You've been on this stage so many times.
I mean, I can answer two questions at one time.
You've been on this stage so many times in the NFC Championship game. How important is it for you to break through, and how much of that played a factor this being like, I got to get back from this one?
With a game like this, you know, like, got to put everything on the line, because we've been here for the last 5 years, and 3 years we fell short, and then 1 year we fell short of the Super Bowl. It's kind of like, what is it going to take? You know, and I feel like we got all all the things that we need in this building, from Jed, John, and Kyle to all the players. So I feel like it's all hands on deck, and we know it's at stake.
Did you learn anything from Brock on Saturday night?
Not really, because I mean, I've been around him for 2 years now, I feel like forever, but I mean, he's never like uptight, or, you know, the moment is never too big for him. He's always poised, cool. Even though I wasn't in the huddle, like, I can see it, and I can see like how the guys are reacting to what the things that he's saying. But, you know, with Brock being the commander of the huddle, like, you have no choice but to listen and just follow his lead, and he went out there and did a great job.
Well, what's more stressful, being on the field when the game is on the line, or being on the sideline watching?
Nah, being on the sideline was different, because it's like you can't do like nothing you can do besides encourage your teammates and just try to give them all the energy and all the everything they need to win. So I think it's more stressful just standing there watching, for sure.
How do you control your emotions when you got a guy like Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, who you guys have had that back and forth on social media?
Pay that no mind, man. He just got to come in and strap it up.
What can you say about Jawan Jennings' contribution when you went out? He came in, made big catches. He walked the guy to the Gatorade.
That's just what we see from Jawan, like, day in and day out, like, throughout camp. And, you know, it's only a matter of time. You know, we call it third and Jawan. You know, most of the time we're going to Jawan on third down. But, I mean, I wasn't shocked at all with the plays that he made and the things that he's capable of doing. Because, I mean, I can go back to college when we played him. When I was in college, we played him every year. And, like, just seeing how he developed from then and now is just amazing.
What feels different about this NFC Championship run versus the other three you've been a part of?
Kind of feel different because we got home field advantage. You know, 2019 we had the home field advantage, we won, and 21-22 we on the road backs against the wall. And I mean, it's still against the wall right now because, you know, we got a great team coming in and just got to be prepared for everything. Just hopefully we come out on top.
What's the key to the game,
Do
Evo?
what we've been doing all year long. Sustain drives, not turning the ball over, converting on third down. You know, defense being our defense for us, like being physical and then going out there and getting turnovers.
Does it feel different because you might have missed it because of the injury and now you won't?
You said might. I'm not missing it.
Going to the combine over the last couple years, you hear a lot of players say that they model their game after you and just the way you play and the bully mentality. Do you kind of see a little bit of yourself in Amon-Ra St. Brown and maybe how you've impacted that next generation of receivers?
Honestly, like, no offense to Amon St. Brown, he's a great player, but we don't too much as an offensive player. We don't really pay too much about the other offense. It's all about what we can do and how we're going to attack their defense, just like they planning on attacking ours.
Thank you.
Peter, what about Brock? Eric and Brock, I can't tell you the order right now.
Better than you.
So great. Excited to get back out there and, you know, get a win and earn another week with my team. So feeling good going into this game.
How's this game different than the other three games, NFC Championship games, for you?
Everything. I mean, it's a new season, new team. Yeah, really don't compare the others. You know, each season is a new journey, so it's just another step on, you know, our journey for the 2023 season.
What do you see from the run game, especially you know, when they use Montgomery, how physical they looked?
Great at running the ball. I've had a lot of success. They have two different styles of backs, which opens up their playbook for them. With Gibbs, they have, you know, a lot of design runs for him. And then also with Montgomery, they have, you know, some different runs for him. He's more of a power back. But they do a great job, and they have a great O-line, and so it's going to be a huge challenge for us.
Eric, you're one of the only guys on the team that was here before Shanahan came. I'm curious what you remember about his arrival and kind of how he communicated his vision for the team at the time.
Yeah, it was when he came, you know, he brought new energy, new sense of urgency, and definitely was a change in the culture. It was a lot of hard work, and, you know, everyone was, you know, trying to prove that we deserve to be here, you know, when they got here. And so, you know, it was a new energy around the building, and, you know, it was good, though. We had, instantly when he came in, he talked about building a brotherhood and how the best teams are the closest teams, and how we have to treat one another. And, you know, we put a lot of hard work in to get us to this point where, you know, we've got to turn around and winning a bunch of football games.
Played Jared Call quite a few times over the years. How has he evolved? How is he different than when he was with the Rams?
I think it's pretty. I think it's pretty similar in terms of, you know, the player that he is. I think he was a good player when he was with the Rams as well too. I think that, you know, whenever, as you continue to get older and you go through more experiences in your career, of course you get wiser and you get hardened, and I'm sure that situation of him leaving, you know, LA had a big impact on his career as a player and mindset and all those different types of things. And so, in terms of like football, just being a football player, though, I think he's been a great quarterback in this league, which he continues to show. So.
Eric, I wonder about the battle that Coach Holland is going through. How does that kind of inspire you and inspire your teammates?
It's always been inspiring, you know, for us throughout these years. He's a great energy around the building and a big part of our success. And, you know, he's also takes the time out to talk to us and, you know, mentor us about, you know, football and stuff off the field too. So I consider we have a great relationship, and it's been great having him here and having a man like that who, you know, has played in the league, had a lot of similar experiences as us, fighting through adversity, and on the coaching side now, and a lot we can learn from him. So definitely a huge blessing to have him, you know, be a part of our staff.
I think some of us, maybe many of us, watch too much movies and think tomorrow night's speech from Coach was going to be a big rah-rah speech. He said it's really not like that. You guys not need that type of motivation?
Yeah, I mean, if you got to get motivated to play an NFC championship, you know, I don't know what to tell you at this point. You know, everything's on the line. Everything you work so hard for to, you know, earn the right to extend your season and go to the Super Bowl. So I don't think guys need too much motivation.
What's your routine like in the final 48 hours before a game like this?
Routine's the same. Try to get some rest. You know, take care of my body. Wake up in the morning, get moving around. Head over to the stadium early. Get moving around. Get treatment.
Wow.
So what is the next big thing? Well, Galaxy believes the next big thing is you.
Me?
Yes, look at you. You're open to experiment. You open your heart.
I have a play this weekend.
And with the power of Galaxy AI, you open even more possibilities. And open your...
How much different did this NFC Championship game feel for you than it did last year?
I mean, there's differences and similarities. I think for us, you know, just continuing to have the mindset of one day at a time, one practice at a time, and then going out and executing no matter what the situation is. Obviously, our sense of urgency is extremely high, and love the way we've been practicing all week and excited to go.
Personally, for you were here for a half a season last year, and this year you've been here the entire season. Does it give you a different perspective on it at all?
I think just having familiarity with the guys and being there all off season and going through training camp with them, going through the highs and lows with everybody, definitely more comfortable, and just with more time and more experience with all these guys, definitely means a lot.
Boost is it to get Debo, even just on a limited basis, back in practice today?
Oh, that's awesome. Anytime he's out there, he brings a extra set of juice that is hard to mimic without him.
You learned about George being his teammate the last year plus.
George is unbelievable, man. He's someone that's you know, I think the best tight end in the league, and somebody who does everything right, whether it's blocking, receiving, blocking downfield. His leadership's great, and he's tough as ever. You know, he play through anything and find any way to get on that field with his guys, and so I have the utmost amount of respect for him, and really glad that I get to be his.
Yeah, nice. No, I think I'm gonna use all my sewing kit just to sew this in. Yeah, it's time. Perhaps best. Yeah. So, after consultations with my anonymous sister friend who deserves to be 7 times richer than Oprah, my anonymous sister friend who deserves to be 7 times richer than Oprah, my anonymous sister friend who deserves to be 7 times richer than Oprah, have concluded that will not sew this blanket due to the fact that it's not worth it sewing, so will not sew, but by tomorrow gonna auction it for 7 million to give 3.5 million to my anonymous sister friend, so you gotta hurry up.
In this last game, you had 17 carries against Green Bay. In an ideal world, how many times would you like to tote the rock?
As many as it takes to win. Yeah, I mean, I've had games where 10 carries, I have games where it's 30. For me, it's not about the touches, it's about making them count. And, some games, carries a lot of times are dependent on, one, how well we're running the ball, and two, what the defense is giving you. And so, for me, I just try to make every single touch count, no matter if it's a carry or pass, or if I'm blocking, whatever it may be. You just got to execute on that play.
From the Lions front seven, statistically they're real good against the run.
Sorry, Sam.
From the Lions front seven, statistically they're good against the run.
Yeah, they're extremely tough. They play hard, they fly around, they're physical. I think they give you a lot of different looks. They pressure a lot. So I think a lot of guys get confused sometimes and, where they're coming from. But overall, it's a great defense that plays really hard, and it's no shock they're here.
His game has drawn some comparison to yours. Just what do you see out of him in his rookie year?
Sorry, what was that first part?
Jameer Gibbs, his game has drawn some comparisons to yours. Do you have any advice for a young running back in this league?
Yeah, just keep doing what he's doing. He's a stud, man. Been a lot of fun to watch. I remember watching him in college. Just an exciting player, and somebody who's going to be great for a really long time. So both those backs there, I have a lot of respect for, and the way they run. They're fast, physical. They can break tackles, catch the ball, whatever it is. So I just have a lot of respect for him.
What have you learned running behind Trent Williams? And from your view, how does a man that size move the way he does?
I've learned it's really fun to run behind Trent, and I have no idea how somebody that big moves like that. I've yet to figure that out.
Just any NFL and their little extra juice going on.
Whoa. Yeah.
But it's definitely an honor to be mentioned in that conversation. Definitely an honor.
Does it feel like any other week, or is there lecture juice going on?
I think you prepare just like any other week. I don't think you do more.
Bless.
The natural emotion of this week has everybody pretty amped up, ready to go.
Is there any emotions from last year's NFC Championship game into this one, knowing just how you guys just really didn't get a shot? And did that fill you and stick with you through this year just to get back here for that?
I think, last year was last year, this year's this year. I think we're exactly where we want to be, with a chance to win an NFC Championship at home. And, I don't think we're thinking about last year at all. We're just focused on this week and doing everything possible to go out there and win.
There was a great photo of you and Tara Vanderveer recently, I think earlier this week. What was it like to meet up with her? Is she a big football fan? Is she giving you tips out there?
Yeah, she's a legend. Obviously, just became the winningest coach and being a Stanford coach. So I would watch her when I was back in college and watch her team. So when I saw her, she had the jacket on with all the wins, so I had to go up and say hi. She was awesome.
George Kittle talks about that, kind of the interchangeability of you and Debo and how it affects defenses. I know you may not see it in real time. When you watch the tape, how much does it make a difference when you have them both on the field together in terms of the way, even if you're not getting the ball, how it might influence the defense?
Yeah, I think it influences the defense a lot. I think, in order to do that, you kind of have to have the right mentality. And I look at the way that guys like him and Ayuk and Juwan and George and Juice, how everybody kind of commits to doing their job, whether they have the ball or not. So in order for it to really have an effect, you have to do things right when you have the ball and when you don't have the ball. And he's a good example of that. And even if he's just in motion, getting people to put their eyes on him, because you never know, when he has the ball in his hands, it's pretty scary.
Mini camp, it seemed like you were on a totally different speed than almost everybody else on the field. Is this team kind of like on a mission based on the way last year ended to finish the deal and take those 2 extra steps?
Yeah, definitely. I think going back to the first day of OTAs, we definitely had a salty taste in our mouth from last year, and we knew how good this team can be, and teams like this don't always come around. So to have it and to have this opportunity and to be in the position we're in, the sense of urgency is definitely high.
You and Kyle expressed that Detroit causes confusion up front. How do they do that? What do they do to cause confusion?
I just think, the different stunts and blitzes that they do, and they bring a lot of different people, and they do it fast. So that would probably be the biggest thing. Appreciate it, guys.
Steve Wilkes today, probably on 3 different occasions, touched on how important it was to shut these guys down in the run. Has that been a huge focus this week?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, they got 2 really good running backs, so they do some really good things. Very fast, physical running backs. So, I mean, they get their running game going, then it just opens up a lot of stuff for them.
How influential is Steve Wilkes in it seems like the growth of your coverage skills has really taken off this season. How much has he influenced that?
I think it's a lot. I think just the way that, he coaches us, the way he calls the game, and just the way that we're able to execute. I think it kind of goes all hand in hand.
How much of a headache is the German receiver Amour syndrome for you?
He's going to be, he's a big problem. Just watching film, he's electric, can get the ball down the field, can ball the short areas and just make plays happen. So, for us, especially the secondary, we just got to know where he is at all times and just know that golf likes to go to him. So,
how are you going to stop him from getting yards after catching a ball?
After you catch it, you got to tackle.
I think you guys have known about Juwan Jennings, intensity and kind of defensive mentality as the wide receiver position. He's getting a lot of attention for driving a guy into the Gatorade coolers. Do you respect just kind of that ferocity he plays with? Could he be like an honorary linebacker?
Oh no, for sure. You got to respect that, especially as a receiver. It's just the way that he's willing to block, the way he's willing to go across the middle.
linguistique. On aide les entreprises à placer leur argent. Parce que
the energy that he brings to the team, I mean, just not to the offense, but to the defense as well. Like he could definitely be a defender on the defensive side of the offense. So, and he do play defense like that. We talk about it all the time. So, I mean, we just love his mentality on defense, and I mean, it kind of sets the vibe for how we're gonna play that game.
I was saying when Juwan first got here, after a few practices, that he actually had to go to defensive players and say, "Look, this is just the way he plays.
Right.
He's not doing any. He's not being dirty. He's just playing to the whistle." And do you remember that? And you're pretty intense yourself. Did you guys ever get in little tussles over?
Oh yeah. Juwan, he'll get you. He'll get. If you don't be thinking about it at practice, but I mean, one time Juwan's laid me out. I know, right? It sounds crazy, but he did. And I was like, wasn't expecting it. But, I mean, he did, and I was like, damn. But, I mean, that's just the way that he goes. Like, I remember just, like, watching film. And every time Kyle goes in the film, I mean, and he always just points you on out, like, you know, I think he's doing this on purpose. But, I mean, he's doing it to every guy that he lines up against, you know, on game day. So, I mean, you know, like, that he's not doing it on purpose. And, I mean, he's tempered it down a little bit in practice. He don't do it as much, but he definitely still get out there and let you know. But yeah, he definitely don't do that no more. So.
Diameter Lenore is known as feisty and scrappy, and how have you seen that really manifest into a very consistent and strong cornerback?
I mean, I love it in him too. Just the way that he attacks every day. That's just how he is. You can tell it in his mentality. You can tell the way that he works. I mean. And you can see it on game day. I mean, he's just all over the field. And sometimes you think that's our third linebacker out there, just the way that he be laying guys out. But he's in that nickel spot, and he's playing like a third linebacker. And I mean, we just got confidence in him, just all around, just the way that he covered, the way he moves, and we know he's gonna come in and tackle somebody in the box. So Demo one of my favorite players on the team. So just the way that he plays, the way that he moves, I like to see his growth.
He went from the outside to the inside and has still played at such a high level.
Yeah, it just shows his versatility. Like, you could tell, like, just all his life he's been outside, just playing football, just playing, like, you know what I mean, just outside. So you could just see just the versatility of, like I said, the way that he moved, the way that his ball skills, just the way that he catches on to things fast, and then just the aggressiveness, like, with it, it just shows just kind of like, you know, just a little bit, not, you know, just kind of like to read people sometimes I do, and you could just tell, like, that he was just an outside kid, so that's pretty cool to see.
How loud it was in the stadium on Saturday. Is that something that you registered while you were running around after the pick, or do you black out in those moments? As a player, when can you gauge?
I was blacked out. I ain't gonna fake.
Is he really an elite quarterback, or is it just the situation he's in?
No, he's not an elite quarterback. He's a product of his system.
The Niners.
All right.
T'as l'air d'une fille qui est allée chez Uniprix, là, Julie. Merde, tu trouves? Ben oui, t'as l'air bien. Oh, c'est pas compliqué avec ma pharmacie. J'ai eu des vaccins et des conseils voyage à volonté. Simple de même. Ouais, j'aime bien ça, moi, les tout inclus.
This is the first time the Lions have advanced to an NFC Championship game since the 1991 season.
I love this Lions team. I love this Lions story. So much of what this team has done is that marketing adage of built for this. They were built for this.
This organization and this team have given this city something that it's desired or begged for forever. Pride and respect.
I envisioned that we would have a chance to compete with the big boys, and that's where we're at. We're built to handle this, but this will be an outstanding test for us. but it's one we're ready for.
Jerry, hard. Make them feel you today. Hope that we don't quit. It's all about us. From the first whistle to the last, we come out here with a relentless intent. Let them know what time we on. Turn it on the jet. Touchdown, Lord. Gonna get hit. Gonna go down. Abe Hutchinson got him. Wide open caught. Touchdown, Detroit Lions. Josh Reynolds.
Way to go on. It's been good to go to war with. That's what we're going to do this year. We're going to do today.
Touchdown, Detroit Lions. Jared is dropping it all out the other day. They got the Lions. Yeah, they got the Lions. Derek Barnes. Oh, baby. The Lions are going to San Francisco.
It's another hot team that we knocked off. You know how hard it is to win in the playoffs? Do you understand what you're doing right now? What we're capable of? And you got to believe how far we can go, man. Believe it now. Believe it now. This comes once in a lifetime.
Taking what few belong.
Well, Sam, the big news is you can smell Rex over here, but aside from that, the...
Well, lots to cover today, so we've got a reporter on each team in both games. We've got Dan Graziano on the Niners, looking happy to be in warm weather, with Kimberly Martin on the Lions, Jeff Darlington on the Chiefs, but we kick things off with our guy Sal Powell on the Ravens. Hi, Sal.
Good morning, Sam. Happy Championship Sunday from M&T Bank Stadium. Let's not sugarcoat it at all. There's an overwhelming sense of urgency and pressure on Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens to get to the Super Bowl.
We clinched the 1 seed, it feels like 100 days ago, and you got all this time.
Like, right when I figured out it wasn't the same thing as the Browns game, it was kind of a relief to know it wasn't a fracture. It was just like a deep bruise or whatever, but I'm talking about countless hours and years, day in and day out, just to get where we are right now.
You seem pretty experienced all week long. Is that a reflection of your confidence that you probably...
Oh yeah, for sure. Got all the
We clinched the 1 seed, it feels like 100 days ago, and you got all this time, and everyone wants to talk about all this stuff that leads up to it, and there's a lot of stuff to think about, but it comes down to what you do in 3.5 hours.
What's your biggest concern for San Francisco at this point as they get set to welcome the Packers?
Really, it's rest versus rust. Right now, some of the Green Bay Packers have unbelievable momentum. They just came off of an unbelievable performance. With Brock Purdy, it's like, okay, I haven't played in 2 weeks. Do I come out and start slow? That's what they can't afford.
It's such a difficult road just to get back to the postseason and just to get back into that level where you're competing for a championship.